Assalamu alaikum. Raheem here. Welcome. Let's slay some demons. Brothers and sisters, um, this presentation is something I'm going to do in addition to the other presentations. My plan is to go through the Injil chapter by chapter, starting with chapter 1, and give a general overview of the chapter for those of you who are studying. Um, it's not going to be very detailed. In some cases, it might be if it's particularly relevant to something that's happening, immediately existential. Um, this one is chapter 1. There's a few points in here we need to talk about, need to explain, because everyone gets that wrong. Everyone gets it wrong, right? Uh, the closest anyone got to it I know about is Elijah Muhammad. He got pretty close to it. But everyone else gets it wrong. When I mean everyone, especially Mr. Farrakhan. He got all wrong. He has nothing right about it at all. So I'm going to it, I'm going to walk through it and explain a few things. Hopefully you'll benefit from this information. Perhaps on the back end I'll have a few things to say. But as far as current events, there's a lot of things going on. The angel said that there will be this locust plague. There will be 2 plagues operating at the same time. One will be the locust plague. That's what you see as insurrection in the streets. He said it'd be the Christian blacks, right? Call them demons. And they would be called locusts. And those you understand in India, the reason why they use locusts, because locust is like a greenish yellow color, and they're in the Injil, they're greenish yellow color. I mean, some translations say pale, but that's wrong. That's totally wrong. Transliteral translation to see is really greenish yellow, and it's important because if you say pale, you lose certain context of the Injil, because it's important that you say greenish yellow because there's other things in there that without that particular little key you wouldn't understand, because it's part of the puzzle. The fact that it's greenish yellow, greenish, hyphen yellow. We'll see it later on in later chapters. But it said the plague will last 5 months. And this last 5 months has calmed down now. Started what, May? It's calmed down now. It said 5 months. Everything is up to this point. I did the calculations. I have the videos out there. Maybe I'll do it again. But chapter 11, it brings it all up to this period of time. The period of time between October, and again in October, to the, to December, I'll put it like that. See? So a lot of that period of time is, according to angels, going to be a critical period of time. Brings it right up to there. So we'll see what happens. A lot of people wonder, hey, when is this going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, what's going to happen? I don't think that's the right question. The right question be, am I prepared for when it does happen? See? It's like as when's a hurricane going to come, but you don't do any preparation for the hurricane. So it does come. I mean, now you know, but it did come, you're not prepared for it, and it's going to, wipe you out, right? So whenever it happens, you're going to be prepared. In our case, The more time we have to prepare, the better we will be prepared. You know, if it happened 3 months ago, would you have been prepared for it? See, good question. See, would you have been prepared? So we need to make sure we're prepared. We had the 5 pillars of Islam, mathematical. I provided those for those who pay attention, just using them. Another thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about it more and more in another, not in this context. Like I said, this context is for, like I said, we'll go to chapter by chapter by chapter. We'll get into it in a second. Something I took for granted. I take a lot of things for granted sometimes. I assume people know certain things. I shouldn't do that, but I do. Come think about so many things, trying to cover so many things. And so then I backtrack and say, okay, well, maybe I should, step back and do it from a more elementary, more pedestrian. This thing called logic chart. I'm just going to mention here, we're going to move on. We need that as a tool. See, you have the angel, and that's uploading it. But you need a thinking tool. See, angel is not a thinking tool. It's more like a thinking method, but it's not a thinking tool. See, thinking tool is logic. That's what your brain is built on, logic. That's constructed. Logic, reason. And most of us have abandoned that. We don't have that tool. Well, it's not so much we abandoned it, we never was given it. So most of us are acting on instinct. Now, when you get into computers, you have to use that in order to write your programs and everything. But people don't use that in their everyday life. You can tell. Because you talk to people and they're totally illogical, because they haven't been taught that tool. And it basically is like logic chart, like you say, you establish a fact. And then you ask questions, based on that fact. Whether, and you keep that fact in mind. And then you go from there, down, if this happens, this happened, consequence, action, consequence, so forth, until you get to a conclusion. So they call it a premise like a fact. It's like, well, you say, if God is a man, you say, well, if that's a fact, right, then if he's a man, right, then that means, and if it's a man, like a regular man, that means, he will die one day. Well, that would be a fact, right? I mean, that would be logical, right? So if that's true, right, it means that there'll be another God after him, because it's always a God, so that means he ain't, the avenger you see is not the eternal God, right? I mean, if he's a man, you follow me? You see? So, and I give you an example, because like, you hear on these Sunnis and this foolish person called Ishmael Farrakhan's, he'll say, God's man. Okay, we accept that. Okay. But then he says, well, we don't make ourselves, God makes us in the womb. And where's the logic in that? Because if he's a man, right, then how is he making all of us in the womb? We don't do it ourselves. We don't do it. He says he wakes us up in the morning. I mean, where's the logic? There's no logic to that. It makes no sense. See? So if you follow logic, you say, that makes no sense. You say, you reject that, man. What the hell? You want to tell it to get the hell out of here. But if you don't have that logic tool, hey, whatever it says, you accept it. And you go through your life like that. So therefore, You run all kinds of stumbling blocks and things all over the place because you're blind. Technically, you're blind because you're not using the tool. You're not using your brain as what's supposed to be used. Because if you did that, you probably wouldn't be in Christianity. You wouldn't be a Sunni. You wouldn't be any of that stuff because there's no logic there. They depend on you not using that tool or not even knowing anything about it. Or maybe they don't know anything about it at all. Just whatever they say. I mean, just have faith. So we're going to talk about that in more detail in another presentation, maybe soon, because that you definitely need to get that process because most of us don't have it. Most of us don't know anything about it. And so, and you're never going to understand the angel without that tool because it's based on logic. You say, well, this and that, and you follow it through. That's how you understand. Because if you don't have it, you're not going to understand the angel. You look at it, and you're never going to get it. So you got to upload it, but you don't know how to use it. You can't figure that business out because you need the tool to do that. See? It's like having the car without a key. You ain't going anywhere. See? They call it logic chart. Some people call it flow chart. You can Google it and find where it is, but you find that's why the first thing you get in the lesson is actual facts. So once you establish the facts, then you come to conclusions based on those facts. See? And I just assumed most people was aware of that. I thought about it. I found out I wasn't, especially after this big blow up with this so-called neighbor of mine. I mean, he's a computer programmer. And he wanted to apply that to the program, but he didn't want to apply it to life. And he came up with stuff about this Democrat, and he went off. And I tried to just go logic. I don't have no logic. I mean, I don't have bullshit. See, so wait a minute, you supposed to be, well, you can't, see, you can't apply logic to life. And then where you going? You say anything anybody tells you? I mean, it makes no sense. We say something makes no sense, you have to say how it doesn't make any sense. Because if you apply that chart, you don't even need the angel. If you don't apply that chart to all stuff you see around you, 90% of the stuff just melt away because that makes no sense. You wouldn't even pay attention to it. Like the Sunnis say, oh, well, Adam was made to make mischief, but he's the first man. See, to him, he's the first man. But he's God's, well, they didn't say God. They didn't say that. So they assume that. It says, thy Lord, which is not allowed. No place in the Quran says Allah made Adam. It says, thy Lord, I'm going to make a ruler in the earth. So, wait, hold it. Now, if there's no one in the earth, then who's going to rule? So you got to show, well, who's going to rule? How are you going to be ruler? There's nobody in the earth but him. See? Then he says, well, and the angels, I want you to submit to him. Okay, so angels going to submit to Adam, right? And they said they would, and angels can't make any mistakes according to them, right? So we're supposed to be from Adam, but you can't see angels, you can't talk to them, and so how in the hell are they going to submit to you? I mean, do you see angels doing things? You tell them to go to Burger King, get you a burger. I mean, it doesn't make no sense. See? And then they come and tell you, well, we're all born Muslim. We're all born Muslim, right? And it's our parents that corrupt us. That's what they tell you. But then they tell you, well, Adam was made to make mischief blood. We're all from Adam. So, wait a minute. Adam was made to make mischief blood, but we're all Muslims. So the logical conclusion is that Muslims are people that make mischief blood. See what I'm saying? See, you got a premise, right? Then you got the logical, then you got the conclusion. And we don't understand that process. But that's the process our brain is constructed on. So they took that process away from us. So we don't use logic. So what's left is emotion. Because no logical person, no logical original person would go anywhere near the Democratic Party if you apply logic to it. You wouldn't. You wouldn't go do any of it. But that's bad wouldn't go do it with them. See? So you just act on emotion. That's what you get on TV and movies. It's all about emotion. Just like that Black Panther movie. If you looked at logically, you say, man, what the hell? I ain't gonna deal with that. But if you deal with emotions, yeah, man, hey, he's cool, man. He looks black, man. He's slick, right? Man, it's all emotional. They're dealing with you on an emotional level. So that means they prove you an animal. Remember, you got to understand who's controlling our image. The person that stole our image. The person that's identity theft. And the whole idea is they got to make us look like something other than what we are so they can maintain their control over our image. So they have us look like animals. Food, because animals don't apply logic. They act on instinct. And everything that they show about black folks is instinct. Oh, musical, rap, right? They whores, pimps, right? They don't invent anything. They ain't build anything. They can't run anything. That's the image they have of us. And we support that image because that's what we acted. Look at all the movies, TV shows and stuff. It's all emotional level. That's the way they have us on the emotional level, which is an animal level. As long as it keeps on a level, that means we're animal, that we prove that we're really animals, and that we deserve to be slaves because we ham, we ignorant, we slaves, we don't have any logic capabilities. See? Because it took logic and math. That's what mathematics is. And the essence of mathematics is logic. That's what it took to build this whole world they have. See? But what you going to build off emotionalism? What are you going to build off emotionalism? See? What phone or what car or anything is built off emotionalism? Nothing. And you know all these religions, everything that makes no sense. Somebody died 2,000 years ago. It took them six days to make the whole universe. 6 days. 6 days to make the whole universe. But it took 2,000 years, right? It took 6 days to do the whole thing, right? But it's going 2,000 years just to prepare a home for us. So it must be some home, man. If it takes 2,000 years to do it, would it only take 6 days to make the whole universe? So it take, man, that's gonna be some home. None of it makes any sense. None of it. But you're supposed to accept it. In fact, the more less sense it makes, the more you're supposed to believe it. Because it's divine. That means you can't understand it. Then why should you believe in it? Why not be in Hinduism? Why not believe in Buddhism? So we're going to talk about that in more detail, this logic chart. Because there's a tool. Now I can tell you right away, the demons are going to reject it, and all the Christians, they're going to reject it. Because they say, man, you got to have faith in Jesus. Okay, well, have faith in Jesus then. See? Had this person on there, oh man, my daughter, she's so messed up, supposed to be a Sunni, right? She's so messed up, only God can save her, only God can heal you, right? And pray to Allah that He will heal her and save her, right? And I see in a few minutes I'm on the way to take her to the hospital. Wait, hold it. He just said that all this pin upon Allah, and that He's gonna take care of her, pray for him, that kind of stuff, right? And now you're going to the hospital? Well, hey, what's in the hospital? Mathematics, science. See, so you're full of shit because that's what you really believe in. See, he runs some crap down, just like Farrakhan. Oh, nothing happens without the will of Allah. He takes care of everything. When he got that cancer, he didn't get a prayer rug, did he? He went to the doctor. That's why it's good they poisoned his dumb ass, because he's a liar. See, because he didn't depend on Allah to save his ass. He'd tell you that crap, but when the time came, he went to science. Check the Jehovah's Witness today. Well, you can't use, don't use, I lost a cousin like that. You can't use transfusion, all that kind of stuff, right? The top guys, when they get sick, they go get a transfusion. But they told them, no, you can't do it. So she said, I wouldn't do it. She wouldn't get she had cancer, she wouldn't get a blood, whatever she needed to get. Because she couldn't do it because can't do it. So witness, she died. All she had to do is get that. The doctor, or he needs to get this blood, whatever it was, and she wouldn't do it because she was a Jehovah's Witness. And then they found that the top dogs, right, they do it when they get in trouble. See all this bullshit that's going on? Like Stephen Wonder said, if you believe in something, you understand you're in trouble. The problem is that we're on an emotional level. So even if you get the angel, it's no good to you if you don't have the tools, right, to understand it. Because you have to apply logic and reason. That's how you figure it out. So you have to upload it, but it's just uploaded. You memorize it. You memorize the symbols and things. But you can't understand it because you don't know how to go and, hey, use the logic, right? And reason to figure out what it means. That's a lot of work. And that's how you, because just uploading the angel is not going to strengthen your brain. You have it, right? It's going to help you. But if you understand it, right? I mean, it replaced it. It's better than having the Masters software up there. See? And it's going to affect your thoughts because you're going to start thinking differently, obviously, because now you're thinking, that's the filter you're thinking through now. See, but I guess it's like going to the gym and just sitting around. So you're at the gym, but you got to do something. It's better to be not at the gym, but now you got to start lifting weights. You got to start doing things, and so you have to have the logic of taking and say, okay, what does it mean? You see, what does chapter 1 mean? How does it put together? The symbols. Look at it and say, okay, what are they trying to tell me here? See, not you can say, okay, well, Suleiman, he said this is what it means. See, that's like saying, well, Suleiman, he can lift that weight. Yeah, but okay, he lifted the weight for you. He picked up your groceries for you. He drove your car for you. And you say, well, I got somebody to drive my car. I got somebody to do it. But how's that? So you have it done, but it has a strength in you. You understand what I'm saying? They have, I mean, a lot of people, they got a car, they got to lift their groceries and all these things for them to say, hey, but how's it strengthening them? See, I mean, it's helping them because they got somebody doing these things for them, but how's it strengthening them? So I'm doing these things for you, telling you what it means. How does it strengthen you if you don't go in and figure it out and get it for yourself? Learn it, understand it for yourself. And then you can check, compare what I'm saying, what you understand yourself, to what you understand and make sure, because this should be in sync. That both of us got it right. So I need to focus on that because I just assumed that, and I shouldn't have made that assumption. Like Minister Yusuf Shah used to say, when you make an assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Because I shouldn't have made that assumption. I make a lot of assumptions because I'm trying to, you can't assume everyone's like yourself, self-taught, right? And nobody has to tell me to go read and study something. I just do it. And I know everybody's not like that. And when I talk to people, like I said, when I was talking to this person, and that's what hit me, because that's what he does programming. He's a little younger than me. And I said, well, let's go to logic. He used that method on the computers, but he didn't want to use it in thinking in everyday life. And he didn't want to hear it. He was told that he didn't want to hear it. And that's what hit me. I said, that don't make any sense. I figured I could relate to him because he should know that method. And he knows the method, he just don't apply it to his life. He only applies it to computers. You got to apply logic and reason to your life. And most of us, we think we say, yeah, or that don't make sense. What you mean it don't make sense? When you say that, do you know why it doesn't make sense? You hear these people, I've been doing it lately. I comment people, they come and say, oh, well, Allah will give us justice. I say, okay, what Allah are you talking about? See, what Allah are you talking about? And do you know He's going to give you justice? Can you prove it? You're just saying something. You don't know. It's like when someone says, all praise be to Allah. That sounds nice. But what Allah are you talking about? You said you're giving praise all to Allah. Okay, you give all this praise to Allah. So who is this Allah you're giving praise to? Nobody asked that question. Because it sounds good. That's emotionalism. But what do you mean by all praise be to Allah? What Allah are you talking about? Where is He? You give all praise to this. So tell me who I'm giving praise to. I'm not supposed to say that. I'm supposed to say all praise is due to Allah. Okay. Who is this Allah I'm talking to? I'm talking about for Allah. And if I'm getting all praise for what? Praise for my food? He didn't give my food. Praise for my life. He didn't give my life. So I'm getting all praises to what? To who? For what? It sounds great, but what the F does it mean? We got to get out of it. All that stuff is coming to a screeching halt. If you want to get out of here, it's come to a screeching halt. You don't can't just say anything. The Quran tells you just can't say anything. You better know what the hell you're saying. It sounds good. It sounds great. All praises be to Allah. All praise for what? Well, how you talking about? You say Allah is a man. You give all praise to Him for your life? How can you do that? For I didn't give you my life. So if you're talking about Him, then I can't give Him all praises. I can say thank you, for coming. I can give Him praise for things I know He's done. I can't give Him praise for my life. So I can't say all praises to Him. And people get upset about that, and they don't get upset because they don't like it, not because it don't make sense. They don't like it because they animals, beasts, instinct, and that's the way reduced us to. And you think it's a small thing, right? But that small thing is the reason why we ain't producing a damn thing. That's why Sunnis haven't produced a damn thing. That's why they've been on their ass for the last 500 years, and that's why their atom is kicking their ass with mathematics. Let's move to the presentation, brothers and sisters. We got a lot. Oh, we got a long way to go. Oh, I hear people say, "Oh, what do you?" Okay, explain to me what you mean by that. Because once you say it, they get upset. You mean? See, because you're not a Muslim if you don't say it. Really? Okay, brothers and sisters, we're gonna go into chapter 1, like I said. Check something here. Okay, make sure everything's okay. Okay. Chapter 1 of the Injil, called Revelations. Now, we talked about this. I'm not going to detail about it, but I'm just showing you some of the symbols that's used in the Injil, like on the left-hand side here. These are some of the symbols used to identify the original nation. Gold represents the original nation, also represents Islam. 7 eyes, 7 spirits, so forth. These are things that identify the original nation. On the right hand side, you see over here where the calf, the golden top part, 2 wings is golden. So that means the golden calf represents Sunni Islam. You can look at it, and I've talked about it before. Okay, so here we go. Now, it starts off, says, the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave to him to show service him, which is bound to occur in the quickness. And it showed us, so anyway, it's identifying John. The whole thing is primarily identifying this one right down the middle. See the red one right down the middle? See? And so we're gonna see as we move along. Okay. Some of the point time is near. Happy those, this is the only book that says happy those hearing the words and observing. In other words, if you listen, you study Israel, you observe it. You gotta apply it now. There's a blessing in it. The Quran doesn't, I'm not sure the Quran says anything like that, but the angel definitely does. So it says if you study it and apply it, it's a blessing in it for you. Okay. So the whole time frame here is, and we'll see as we move along, this is the time that the chapter 1 is talking about the time now. The angel does not go in chronological order because chapter 20 is actually mostly talking about the past. Chapter 1 is primarily talking about what, not just now, but what's about to happen. Right? What's about to happen. That's chapter 1. So I'm not going to go a lot of detail here, like I said, I'm just give an overview. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Now here we see it's telling you some of these 7 churches, or escalades they call it, but it's also called churches. It's talking about the Jesus Christ has witnessed firstborn of the dead. Now they try to tell you that Elijah Muhammad is the firstborn of the dead. No. That's not what it's talking about. The dead ones are the original nation. But Suleiman is the firstborn because he's the first one. He's the one that broke the angel. See, because they're not resurrected yet. That's Lazarus. They haven't been resurrected yet. See, so he had to because Jesus was alive first, and then he had to raise Lazarus, right? But there's a little issue on that one. No, that's good. That's good. I'll have to make a clarification on that another time because we got the one about Elijah and the widow's son, because they was actually resurrected. They was as resurrected before the 4 winds. There's 2 resurrections, pre 4 winds and post 4 winds. So they was actually resurrected before. So I'm really, like I said, I'm not going into detail here. I'm talking in general, but when we go into detail, we'll find out, right? It'll be more clear about the firstborn of the dead ones, because they're a part of the dead ones, but they're grafted in. So in order to really explain that in detail, I have to go and I'm not going to do. I say I wasn't going to do it here. So I'm going to leave it open, hoping anyone that doesn't get confused about it, right? So, but I will explain more detail at another time. But the purpose is, like I said, is just give you a general overview of each chapter for study purposes. Because the whole purpose is to get you to study, not just me telling you what it is. Okay. So look is come with the cloud. This look thing here, I don't talk about it. And they say those things, but they're very important. One day I'm going to explain when they say look, there's something they tell you look for. I have never talked about it. I do talk about it in my that book I told you I wrote in 1990, right, to put together. I don't talk about it now. One day I will. So those are very important, but I'm not going to talk about it here. Right? It's come with the clouds. Now the clouds also represents the original nation, right? At least 4 of them. The 4 clouds also represents, let's see, how should I say it? The 4 horses, okay? Also the 4 horses, right? So it's the 4 clouds. You see that in another chapter. Anyway, that's what it says it's coming in cloud. So the clouds So that's talking about the sun right there, or Suleiman. He's different from everybody. There's a reason for that, right? And it says, and everyone will see him, even those that did harm to him. See, because he suffered a lot of things. A lot of people did a lot of dirt to him, right? So they'll see him also. And so what is it talking about? See, because they're demons. See, it's a little complicated here, because demons have eyes too, right? They're part of the origination has been. See, that's why I said I don't want to go into much detail. Origination has been corrupted, right? So some of the eyes are demons. That's why I said. That's why I give you this here, and every eye will see him, even the ones that stabbed and distracted. So those, they're part of the eyes too. See, so 7 eyes represent the Okay, put it like this way. See, that's why I didn't want to do this, because to try to do this a general way, it just gets you get tongue tied. Okay, and anyone that's not following Injil have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, so you got the 7 parts there, right? The original nation. 3 parts of it has been corrupted. 1 part is the grafted in. That's the Levites, or the 900 Nation of Islam, right? Okay. Originally it was all gold, right? So it has 7 eyes. But 3 of the eyes are corrupted. So they're demons, right? They're still part of the nation, but they're demons. So in other words, that's why it says we're plagued by demons, because it's like a cancer. It's still part of your body, but now it's against your body. Okay? That's what, I'll leave it like that. So they'll see him also. Okay. This is an Alpha Omega, the being and the coming Lord. Okay. This is, I'm not going to, I put it in red here, because I'm not going to try to explain this, because it just get too complicated for you. Okay. Now we just get to the chase here. I came to be an island being called Patmos through the word of God and the witness of Jesus. Now Elijah Muhammad presented that as, right, that's Yaqub on the island of Patmos, where he made, now that's what he explained, but that, and that's history, but that's not what it's talking about. He saw in this that it might be the same thing. It's not the same thing, right? And he saw as Yaqub there, like I say, he came close on some things. But see, the thing, remember, the Angel is the book for the times, but it still has historical stuff in it. So it has historical hints in it. Just like the 24 scientists, 24 elders, not the 24 scientists. But it has shadows of the history in it, and you have to be very careful to pick it out. But what this talking about here is John represents, in some cases, John represents Prophet Muhammad. In some cases, he represents the angel Gabriel, right? The waters, right? The island is surrounded by waters. So that's telling you who John is. John is the one you see right there, right? He's the one you see here, right? That's what it says. He's on Island Patmos. See? Through the word of God and witness of Jesus. He's on Island Patmos. So that's what, so, because you have to understand, it's showing you positioning. You might say, whole thing's about this red thing down the center here, showing positioning. So that's John. Okay. It said it came to be a spirit pertaining to the Lord's day. So it's telling you what the Lord's day is. See? So in other words, this configuration is the Lord's day. See? So they tell you about the day of the Lord. When is the day of the Lord? What does it look like? Well, you study Israel tells you, because now this whole thing is concerned to the Lord's day. So now you know what the Lord's day is going to look like. This angel is going to be ready to tell you what the Lord's day is going to look like, how things going to be. Because that's supposed to be none like it. That's the day that everything's going to happen. Hell will break loose, Armageddon, the whole 9 yards. So now it tells you what you look like, which Lord's day will look like, because they don't know. They tell you what the Lord's day. Angel will tell you what it looks like. And it says, I heard behind me a great voice as a trumpet. So here's John. Here's behind him. He sees his voice as a trumpet. It's a voice as a trumpet, right? Now, there's 7 trumpets, but that would be the 8th one. And that's what you need to understand to break down chapter 17, because it was 8 But he's of the seven, right? Because this is the first time a trumpet is mentioned right here. Right? So he looks, he says behind him, right? Because that means, so now everything else is in front of him. So that's behind him, okay? And this trumpet said him saying, looking at the book, right, and sent to 7 churches, right, and tells who the churches are. So here's the churches right here. I show who the churches are, right? Saying what you are looking at. See, think about that. He said, what you are looking at. Now, read this again. Go back and read this again. He says, I heard behind me a voice. So if he's heard behind a voice, that means he's looking down this way because the voice is behind him. So that means he's looking down this way towards at the bottom down here, right? So that's why he says what you are looking at, right? So he's looking down here. He's not looking up there where the eyes are. He's looking down here. See? So those are the churches there. He said he saw. See, that's it. Let me go back and see if I missed something here. Make sure. Okay. So he's looking down there, and these are the churches. Okay. And then he says, I turn. See, he had to turn. So now he's looking back towards the sun up there. See, and he says he saw 7 golden lampstands. Yeah, I pay attention. That's where he saw. So those are the golden lampstands. He had to turn to see that. See, because he saw the voice. Because he had the voice that was behind him. He had to turn to see it. So he turned to see the 7 golden lampstands. See, 7 is golden, golden. Okay. And in the midst of the lampstands, okay, it did say golden lampstands. In the midst of the lampstands, that's the ones down here. See, the one at the bottom. See, because they're not gold. He said lampstands. See, these are lampstands down here, right? But those up here are golden lampstands. Because the lampstands down here, that's where the church is. And he says, one, this is very important, like the Son of Man. That means it's not the Son of Man. Anything that's like it is not it. See? And that's where everybody gets it wrong, because they call this Jesus. It ain't. It says he's like him. He's not him. If you like something, that means you're not it. See? It's like a car. It's like a plane. It's like a bird. I mean, it's not a bird. It's like it's similar to it. So that means it's not Jesus talking about here. It's someone else that's similar or pretending or close or a clone of it, but it's not him. And then I'm not going to go through all this in detail because they're all over the place with this one. Because what they're doing is describing this one right down the middle here. So it's talking about his feet. His foot down here. And the golden girdle, okay. I said the top two of two wings of every one of these is golden. So that's why it's a golden girdle on about his feet, right? And there's also feet right here, as if you remember, if you read chapter 10, right? His feet were like fiery like flames of fire, and so forth, so on, right? See? And then the sun's at the top, right? So I'm not going, like I said, it's all over the place. It's taking a while to really break this down in great detail. You understand? So I just put some things here you can study. And I saw him, I felt the feet towards him, see, and as dead. And he put, see, so and down the center here is where the dead are, see. So he's full. See, he was over here up top here, on the right top here, that's where he was. Because all the red was here, then it fell down in here. So he's here now. That means he fell towards his feet. He fell down this way. That's where towards his feet, right? See, and he said he put his right hand. This would be his hand, right hand above him. That means this is the one he's talking about. This is the one he sees walking. This is Obama. He sees him walking. I know some of you have a problem with that, but you're gonna really when he's gonna be revealed in a few more days. So this is the one he sees, right? And he says he put his right hand upon him. If you understand the Injil, this one will be right hand. That means that's where you know what fear is, because that's important in later chapters. he put his right hand upon him and said, be not fearing, right? That's what that's all about. See, because he's John, he put it above him. I'm the first and last and living, and came dead and living. I'm the living agent. I'm having the keys of death and Hades. Death is anybody to understand that transliteral, that this one's death, not this one down here. This one's death and this is Hades. So he said I had the keys of both. See, here he is. Remember, they told me everything down up in the center down here. That's what they're referring to. Okay. And said, therefore, what you saw and things about to be occurring. So in other words, he's somehow, this is now and about to be occurring. So we in the present, we're at this is about to happen. So in other words, some of these things are happening right now, some about to happen. And in the midst of seven stars, what you saw upon the right of me, right? Remember that was the right hand up here? Well, that's the seven stars he's talking about. See, call it a mystery. See, and seven seats, 11 gold lampstands. See that's the seven stars right there. And the seven stars, angels of the seven. It says the seven stars are the angels of the seven churches or escalades. See, and then the lampstands. See, these are the angels of it. But the lampstand, remember, it's not golden again. They are the seven churches, not the golden ones, just the lampstand. These are the lampstands down here, the white ones. These are the golden lampstands. They make a distinction between the two. Seven golden lampstand. More people don't pay attention. They think it's the same. No, it's not. There's golden lampstand, and so this down here is the churches. The one down the white are the churches. See. Okay. Now here, and this is about to close it. This is taking you into chapter 2 and chapter 3. These are the churches. So I'm just putting this here to give you some idea, right? Because when you get to chapter 2 and chapter 3, I don't talk about that very much. It's very complicated. But this is the structure. Because when you go in there, this is how the churches work. The top one is Britain. Ephesus is Britain. Smyrna is Syria. Pergamon is Iran. Thyatira is false Israel. Sardis is Eastern Europe or Russia. Philadelphia is America. And Laodicea is Western Europe, EU. Those are 7 churches. See, and what's in it, they have control of other nations. And that's what you need to understand when you go into chapter 2, chapter 3, understand what they're talking about. This is the structure. That's why they mention the first 4 in the first in chapter 3, chapter 2, right? And then they mention the last 3 in chapter 2, in chapter 3. And this is a construct, we'll see that. Okay? And so I show it here. So when you put chapter 2 and 3 together with chapter 1, this is the configuration of the Lord's day. That means at the point where the war is taking place and Babylon has fallen, right? And the 4 winds is blown and the resurrection is taking place. That's the day of the Lord, which is about to happen. The winds is blown, right? They've been thrown out the Middle East. Babylon has fallen. American false Israel has fallen. And the original nation, all the blacks have come together. That's the resurrection. They haven't been separated out yet. The demons haven't been separated out yet. But the winds is blown. That's what the day of the Lord looks like. See? That's what's about to happen. When it happens, that's the day of the Lord. That's when the big war happens. Because what kicks the war is the war in the Middle East. And then it spreads all over the world. Because once they get kicked out of there, then America goes to war with Russia, goes to war with Western Europe and Western Europe and Eastern Europe, both go to war with China and India. Goes to war with everybody. That's what the day of the Lord looks like. Right there. That's the whole point of chapter 1. So I covered a lot of major points there. Some things I didn't go into. Like I said, it requires going into a lot of detail. So hopefully you'll understand. Okay, brothers and sisters, that pretty much covers that. Okay, brothers and sisters, I'm going to close this out. I said I intend to try to do this. Maybe if I can, it'd be aggressive. I can hit each chapter each day. But if I do that way, as I said, it will be in a general way. It won't be in great detail. Because to do that, it'll take a long, long time. And it takes a while to put these things together. So I figure if I put it in a general way to give basic understanding what the chapter is, that help you in your study. Because that's going to help, because those of you that are studying. And that's why I need to get into this logic chart, show you how to reason. I mean, you can go on Google and do a Google on a logic chart or logic techniques, and it will show you what I'm talking about. See, which they don't teach the black people. See, the teachers think logically, because think logically means you're thinking mathematically. That's why so many black people fail mathematics when they are the gods of mathematics, because they taught it wrong. And you can't approach mathematics logically. I mean, emotionally. It has to be logically. See? Because the logic would be, for instance, Farrakhan, right? Now, it follows the devil. He's from Yaakov's creation. The male carries the seed. That means his father's the devil. That means, what else can he be if the male carries the seed? So how in the world would original people, they should be thinking to all praise with Allah, they should be thinking all praise to Yaqub then, because he's the one that produced Farrakhan. If his father's the devil, then why are they following the devil? See, you only could do that if you emotionally driven. Logically, logic, he would be dead. He would be finished. If you applied logic to him, he'd be through, period. Because logic destroys him. Just like the whole thing about Exodus. They agree that God came first. He raised up Moses. Moses asked for a spokesman, which God resisted. So he gave Aaron. As soon as Moses was gone, Aaron just destroyed the whole thing, turned the thing upside down. And then Joshua came. That's the story. So if you follow that logic, ain't no way in the world you'll be anything to do with Farrakhan. Because he's the one that messed up. He's Aaron here. But no, oh, no. So we apply logic and reason here, actual facts, and we use that as a premise to proceed and stand to come to a logical conclusion, right, of the information we have. First you got a premise, then you got to put the information, right, follow the logic to get to the result, to the answer. You got the premise, logic, conclusion. Premise, that's the actual facts. Logic, right? If this is true, this is true, this is true. Conclusion. That's the tool you need. We don't have that tool. We don't use it. So without that tool, you're not going anywhere. Like having a car without a key. So you get the car, but they don't give you the key. And that's my fault. That I gave you the car, I didn't give you the key because I just assumed everybody knew about how logic works and apply, because I now realize it don't. Because I met this clown, and he's a computer programmer, and he really knows stuff, and he doesn't apply it to the rest of that hit me. I said, wow, if he don't do it, and the way he was arguing, I couldn't have a conversation based on logic. I realized that, hey, maybe maybe most people don't. If he don't know it, he should, because he knows logic, he knows how it works, but he don't apply it to his life. I said, well, maybe that's what other people are doing too. And I really thought about it. I said, that makes sense, because most time you talk to people, they're dealing with emotional level. I said, this whole thing about blacks and Democrats, that's totally illogical. It makes no sense at all. So I'm going to talk about that in my next presentation. I'm going to that, right? Because when my presentations, that's my convincing, I'm not trying to convince anyone, but that's the basis of what I'm, information, because I'm applying logic. I'm saying, see, because And maybe that's why most people, a lot of people, they catch it because they don't, they deal with the emotional level. Because when I get back is, hey man, you smell like Farrakhan. You want this divide our people. I mean, I get all these emotional and personal attacks, and probably because they don't have that tool, logic tool, and they deal on the emotional level because that's how they're responding back on the emotional level. We need to get past that. And if you're still doing that, you're not going to understand. You're going to load, you can get lenses up there, but it's not going to do any good because you're never going to understand what you're doing, and you're not applying the logic to it, the reason to it. To find even, because remember, if you do it that way, you're just accepting it because that's so. Why not accept Christianity? Why not accept Buddhism? Because you don't know if it's correct or not. And I keep telling you, don't if you can't prove it, if I can't prove it, don't listen to me either. But how are you going to prove it if you don't have the logic and reason to go in? And so I'm gonna have to address that, brothers and sisters, because if you don't have if you can't prove, if you're going in and you can't prove the stuff you're seeing there, you shouldn't be. It's not doing you any good either. Just like I told you, chapter 20. If you know your history, you can apply logic and you can figure out chapter 20 right away and see exactly what's going on with that. But if you don't, then you say, "Oh wow, well, Suleiman told me. Well, I don't want that." I tell them I look for any followers, and I look for anybody just because I said it. Well, how does that do me any good? It's like you in a class, you teaching people engineering, and you say, "Well, the teacher said this." Well, they're supposed to be able to learn how to build stuff, not to learn to remember what I said, memorize what I said. That's the whole idea for you to be able to leave out here and go build things. So you have to apply logic and reason to go ahead and say, "Oh yeah, well he laid this out. Let me see if it's right." Because that's what you should be doing. Everything I say, you should be checking to see if it's right. And if you find it's wrong, then you need to get away from it. If you're confused, then you just talk about it and try to figure it out. Maybe talk to me and everything until you come to the conclusion that it's right. I did the math, I checked it out, I did the logic. That's what I tell you. The scripture, I wish that I stick with scripture correct to me because I know it's mathematically based because I proved it in my mind that's mathematically based. Otherwise, I wouldn't mess with scripture either. So if you just, hey, because hey, I like Sue, I like the way he talk, I like that funny how he wear, and then you're at the wrong place because you might as well go back to the church. You're in the wrong place. I need to give you the tool, and you need to go and prove everything I say. But if you can't prove it, then either it's wrong, or you just, you're just strong enough mentally to figure it out yet. So you keep on until you. I mean, just because you can't figure it out, that means you reject it. You keep on until you until you can figure it out, because you got to figure it out. And then once you figure it out, then you say, "Hey, wait a minute, 5 plus 3 don't equal 9." Reject it. So you got to figure it out. That's the engine. I had to figure it out first to find what's right or wrong. First, got to figure it out. How can I reject it? I got to figure it out first. I had to go figure it out, break the seals, figure it out, and then test it. Check and see if it was right or wrong, do the math of it. And I found it was correct. So I presented. But you got to find what's right or wrong. Or you're just saying stuff. And that's hard. Like lifting weights is hard. But that's how you get the muscle. That's how you strengthen. I keep telling everybody you got to strengthen your mind. That's how you do it. You can't do it by uploading the mental. That's not strengthening your mind. That's memorizing something, basically. That's going to the gym and say, "Man, I know how all this equipment works." You got to use it. So you got to use your logic to figure these things out. See, I give you help. I give you help, right? But you have to go in and figure it out in your mind that that's correct. Then you got the power. Then at that point, that's when they can call you a master. When you got the wisdom, and you got the book. And use the book. The wisdom is the knowledge of pressure, how it works. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.